Alright, guys, I know I've been a little bit of a dickhead when it comes to talking about big and serious things, like when it comes to the Dr. Disrespect situation. I've pretty much been throwing the insults that I've had in my book to call out the doc and his situation. Especially since he posted the Twitter thread admitting to inappropriately messaging a minor. Some people were like, oh, he's automatically guilty, and then others were saying, oh, he's innocent. But if the person is coming forward to admit that he actually did do it, then is he still innocent? Or are we just going to wait until there are actual screenshots of him being thirsty in the DMs, you know? What I'm trying to say is, some of y'all didn't like my take on the Dr. Disrespect situation, and I'm not usually the one to cry about it in a video of mine, but this is a situation where it involves a minor. And I'm very sensitive to this topic, so if you want to call me soy, call me woke, you want to dislike bomb the video because I'm looking out for the children and underage teens that are being exploited by the big names in the industry, then go right ahead. I believe in the innocent until proven guilty motto too, but I think we're past that when it comes to Dr. Disrespect, okay? Anyways, I'm going to talk about that situation again because I think we reached a new peak into this situation. To sum up this situation in a nutshell, the doc got banned on Twitch in 2020 and no one knew why. Then 4 years later, a former employee of Twitch called Cody Connors went to Twitter to claim that the doc inappropriately messaged a minor in the Twitch DMs. Then the doc made a statement saying it was true, but didn't explain it any further. He was just trying to say, oh, he was innocent, but then he had to re-edit the post to take the word minor out of the tweet, only to put it back in because it made him look worse. Now there's a new report out there claiming that the doc actually knew about the minor's age and he continued to act it in that way. Okay, so I apologize if I sound like this. I think I might be coming down with the flu again. A new report from the esports journalist Slasher has challenged Dr. Disrespect's narrative about the events. This esports journalist guy, Rod Biaru, or Slasher as he's called on X, made a tweet in 2020 saying that he knew the reason for Dr. Disrespect's ban, but couldn't say it because of how sensitive it was. And then at the time, the doc didn't know why the ban happened because we all didn't know what the ban was at that time. And we just point the finger at Slasher because we thought he was trying to gain clout off of it. I mean, hey, if he's coming out about this, then maybe he did know something about that situation. Why would he not say anything about this during 2020? I don't know. Maybe it was a Twitch lawsuit, or maybe he really was using it for the clout. Either way, this Rod Biaru Slasher guy, he has his feet in the shit with this situation. He's involved in this now. According to Slasher's report, Dr. Disrespect not only knew that he was talking to a minor, but his conversations with her got more explicit after learning her age. This would be the kind of shit where everyone would just jump the shark and automatically label the doc as guilty, but you gotta understand, this is from a news article, and it's one I can't read because of a goddamn paywall, just like Bloomberg. This is like the accusation made with Cody Connors and the other two former Twitch employees that didn't want to be named. They didn't have the screenshots of the DMs to back it up. They're just taking the word of this Slasher guy who's an esports reporter himself. But if more people are coming forward about this situation, I think it's starting to lean into the fact that this might have actually happened. If it was just the one person, the Cody Connors guy, who was butthurt over the fact that, oh, you know, he's getting outperformed by the doc and just wanted to make that tweet out of anger and spite, that would have just been passed off as baloney. But this is more than just the Cody Connors guy. As much as I want to see the DMs too, as any other person that's interested in this situation, I think we're just past the point that it's not just the one butthurt guy. If people like Slasher or those two former Twitch employees that want to remain anonymous are saying something about this. I recalled that Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he incited that this was no problem and continued on. There was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged were no less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before. And I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate. Okay, I'm done trying to find the good in this here. If he knew about the kid's age and still decided to inappropriately message them like that, I'm sorry to say it, but he's fucking done. He Dr. Disrespected a kid for the last time. And I remember when he said in that little Twitter thread of his that there wasn't any real intentions of the messages. It just leaned into that direction. Nothing else. Like, I'm not the one to take Slasher as a credible source all the time, but if there's more people coming forward about this, then it's kind of becoming parallel, especially since he said that he knew about the reasoning for the ban, but people just dismissed it as, oh, it was just a clout-chasing attempt. Kind of makes people like you and me that didn't believe Slasher look a little silly now, huh? If you still hate Slasher for being a clout chaser or being an information withholder of a predator, think what you want. But you can't deny the fact that he knew about this situation and didn't want to say it at the wrong time. Because if he did, then he would have just had lawsuits flung at him like frickin' tomatoes on the stage. Maybe we deserve the tomatoes to be thrown at us. After viewing the contents of the Whisper conversation, it quickly became clear how the fuck do you say that word? I'm just gonna say ridiculous, okay? The ridiculousness of the conduct and what actions Twitch must take. The former employee said the decision to permanently terminate Beham was relatively quick due to the severity of the behavior. So Twitch knew about the situation just as much as Slasher. They're the ones that decided to ban the doc forever because the DMs showed that he was diddling with a minor. It's like what Slasher said. There were messages of graphic and sexually explicit nature within those messages. And Twitch didn't report it to the police, mind you. It's considered illegal to sex a minor in the United States. It's either exposure to a minor or possession of CP. Whatever it is, it's a crime. They were harboring this dark fact for years. Why? I don't know. It might have made their platform look worse than it already is. You could just be a dickhead about it and say, oh, Slasher was an enabler for not saying anything about this sooner. He's just as a harborer of a pedophile as much as Twitch is. Mind you, the two parties had NDAs, so if he said anything all the way back then, what Dr. Disrespect said to Slasher about this situation, then Slasher could have gotten hit with a class action lawsuit. I don't really approve of the fact that Slasher was hiding this information the whole time, but it's better to say it at the right time than not to say it at all, you know? So props to Slasher for coming out about this, even though he's still a clout-chasing journalist to some people. And I still don't understand how Twitch wouldn't say anything after all of this time. The fact that it had to come from a former Twitch employee, Cody Connors, someone who doesn't even work there anymore, it doesn't surprise me. I say this a lot of times, I'll say it again. Twitch staff always likes to cut corners so that they can make lots of money and get lots of fame. And those with morals who are working for the company, they have to leave the job because of it. It's just such a toxic work environment, you know? Like, take a look at this other person who was a former Twitch employee. I don't think most people have an idea of how bad things were behind the scenes at Twitch. I literally worked in the department that had access to most of the data and information. I saw private whispers, etc. It was literally my job to investigate daily. I saw things every single day that I wish I never had to see. I always advocated for being a good human being, always expressed with heavy emotions on my streams how Twitch let pedophiles run free every day. I signed an NDA and afraid to get in trouble, but I have to say something. It's been bothering me for so long. These sick fucks don't deserve to be free. So Twitch would be harboring a predator at this point. They have people monitoring the chat logs and the Twitch whispers, and it's their job to do it. To read who's ever being a decent human being and who's being a weirdo trying to rizz up a girl who's under the age of 18, huh? Imagine that. You'd be getting PTSD flashbacks from working at this job where your duty is to monitor the chats to see which person is going to be a pervert trying to ask a teen girl for nudie pics in the DMs of the Twitch whispers. This just doesn't apply to Dr. Disrespect. It applies to anyone that uses the live stream as a viewer or a live streamer that's on the platform. They decide to act like a weirdo to these minors in the Twitch whispers. And we can know that's a possibility with this former Twitch employee who's telling us the experience as it is. I guess it's safe to say that it's over for the doc. More people with relevant experiences are coming forward. He's losing these sponsored deals. He's losing his sub count as we speak. The nail in the coffin would be when the DMs finally get exposed and people happen to see, oh my god, it wasn't just inappropriate messages leading onto that. It's crazy how he decided to throw it all away because he tried to diddle with a minor over the internet. GG, Doc, it's been fun, but now you gotta own up to your actions and tell the facts as it is instead of deflecting like what you're doing on that Twitter thread of yours. Am I gonna get hated for talking about this one? Yes, but I'd rather be hated by people that defend predators than be a predator myself, okay? Enough said. That's all I gotta say, pretty much. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.